Everyone is obsessed with the Dempsey Roll. And I get it, me too. But here's the thing nobody wants to say out loud. The Dempsey Roll does not beat Ricardo Martinez. Not alone. Not by itself. Because before any version of it lands on Ricardo, something else has to happen first. A punch that never gets talked about. A punch that comes before everything. The punch that Kamogawa built the entire system around. And when you understand what that punch actually does, and what Sendo just proved it does to Ricardo in real time, you're going to look at this entire manga completely differently. Let's talk about the liver blow. The liver blow is a left hook to the body, specifically underneath the right pectoral, behind the ribcage, directly into the liver. When this lands clean, the response is involuntary. The liver is one of the most pain-sensitive organs in the human body. No bone protection. A direct hit causes immediate internal trauma. Nausea, disorientation, a wave of pain that the nervous system cannot override. The guard drops, the torso folds, the knees buckle. It doesn't matter how tough you are, your body makes that decision for you. That involuntary reaction is the entire point. Now, here's the detail people sleep on. For someone with Ippo's specific punching power at close range, the liver blow cracks ribs. When Ippo lands it on Sendo, it puts structural damage into Sendo's ribcage. Not a bruise, not soreness, cracked ribs on Sendo. One of the most physically durable human beings in the entire manga. Hold that image, we're coming back to it. And now we're getting to the twist. The liver blow telegraphs. The arm arc is wide. The motion is visible before impact. Experienced fighters can read it coming. The manga states this explicitly. The wide hook arm motion was so readable that Date built his heartbreak shot around exploiting it. He'd wait for Ippo to throw the liver blow, read the arc, and counter into the opening. So the obvious question, if you can see it coming, why does it still work? Because seeing it coming doesn't help you if you cannot create the distance to avoid it. The liver blow is a toe-to-toe weapon. To throw it properly, you need to be inside. To avoid it, you either stay at medium range, beyond reach, or you clinch. Those are the exits. Ricardo's whole game is built on controlling distance with his jab. He lives at that specific range where he can hit you without you hitting back. But the liver blow doesn't operate at jab range. It operates inside jab range. If Ippo closes that gap, if he arrives where the liver blow lands, Ricardo's primary defensive tool disappears. The jab needs distance. The liver blow eliminates distance. They cannot coexist in the same moment. But the liver blow isn't a standalone weapon. It never has been. In Ippo's actual fights, it's step 1 of something that has 3 parts. The sequence goes like this. Liver blow lands, damages the ribs, forces the guard down involuntary. Ippo then feints. His version of killing intent, what the manga called Saki. And the opponent's guard snaps back up reflexively to protect the head. That guard going up creates the opening for the gazelle punch. The gazelle punch stunts. And a stunned opponent with damaged ribs is exactly where the Dempsey Roll was built to operate. This is how Ippo finished Sendo. Liver blow into the ribs, feint, gazelle punch to the head, Dempsey Roll for the finish. 3 techniques, 1 sequence, in that exact order. And it's not an improvisation. Ippo ran the same sequence in his first title defense against Sanada. It's the system. It's designed. The Dempsey Roll is step 3. It has always been step 3. And you cannot run step 3 if step 1 never happens. And here's the aha moment. Kamogawa's own signature technique as a fighter. The one he developed in post-war Japan. The one he used himself. It was a left hook body blow strong enough to knock a welterweight down. The manga's post-war flashback arc shows this directly. Kamogawa's defining punch as a prize fighter was a left hook to the body. He didn't teach Ippo the liver blow from a textbook. He passed down his own weapon. The first destructive punch in the Kamogawa system came from Kamogawa's own fists. And then notice the order in which the system was built. The liver blow comes first, then the gazelle punch, and then the Dempsey Roll. The sequence mirrors the teaching order. Step 1 was handed to Ippo before any of the flashier techniques even existed. Kamogawa knew what the first problem was going to be long before Ippo ever got close to a world-level opponent. And he answered it with the oldest weapon he had. And now to Ricardo. Ricardo Martinez is a regular user of the liver blow. This dude doesn't just know what it is, he uses it in every fight. The man who is the final opponent for Ippo has personally thrown this punch in his own fights, which means Ricardo understands the mechanics very well. The hip rotation, the arm arc, the targeting, the timing. He knows this punch from the inside, from the perspective of someone who has used it to hurt people. What Ricardo has never experienced is being on the receiving end of it from Ippo Makunouchi. 70 fights, not one loss, and in none of those fights has anyone arrived at toe-to-toe range and driven a liver blow into Ricardo's ribs with Ippo's specific power at that distance. Ricardo knows the weapon theoretically. He's thrown it himself. But knowing how to throw a punch and knowing what it feels like when Ippo throws it into your body are two completely different things. And Ricardo is missing the second thing entirely. Now, here's where the current manga arc becomes the most important evidence in my entire argument. Sendo versus Ricardo. The King versus Tiger arc. Sendo gets Ricardo against the ropes and lands a 0-inch punch into his body. Ricardo Martinez in that moment feels like a hole has been torn into his side. The man who has never been hurt. The man who controls every fight from the outside with the most reliable jab in the featherweight division. The man who shut down the Dempsey Roll before a single punch landed. He takes one body shot at close range from Sendo, who is a power puncher but not a bodywork specialist, and he almost dies from pain. That's one punch from Sendo. Sendo's 0-inch punch landed because he was pushing him against the ropes. He found the range. And at that range, even without the liver blow as a named technique, Ricardo's body had no answer for what arrived. Now ask yourself this. If Sendo's close-range bodywork created that sensation in Ricardo, and Sendo is not the fighter in this manga whose identity is built around body shots, what happens when Makunouchi Ippo, the man who cracks ribs on Sendo, lands his liver blow on Ricardo? Sendo showed that Ricardo's body is not immune to close-range damage. He proved that vulnerability exists. But Sendo hit Ricardo with one punch. Ippo does not arrive with one punch. He arrives with step 1 of a 3-part sequence that ends with the Dempsey Roll. Sendo gave us the proof of concept. Ippo carries the complete version. The Dempsey Roll is what everyone talks about. The Dempsey Roll is what Ricardo stopped before it started. The Dempsey Roll is the last chapter of the story. But the story starts with the liver blow. The punch Kamogawa built from his own fists. The punch Ricardo has thrown but never absorbed. The punch Sendo just proved creates a sensation in Ricardo that his entire career hadn't prepared him for. And Sendo does not have the version Ippo carries. Every piece of the retirement arc, the conditioning, the tire running, the diagonal head movement, it was building one thing. Not just the Dempsey Roll that already existed. It was building the entry point. The moment where Ippo gets inside Ricardo's jab, arrives at the range where distance control becomes irrelevant, and throws his left hand into the body of one of the most dominant champions this manga has ever written. The liver blow is step 1. Morikawa already told you what happens when it lands.